A good restored republic Friday morning to you out there. I hope everybody's having themselves a good morning. This is Wendy with NEWSFORCE, and I am back. And we are going to take a look at Myanmar. And it has got some serious conflicts going on, okay? It goes deep, but if you're a 5D'er, you'll be able to pick up on this really well. If you're not understanding what I'm talking about, use the terminology of what we're going through here in the United States and get up a little bit on understanding the dynamics that are going on, because it looks like peace out the door, and you can thank warp speed for that, okay? But there's a huge silent war going on here in the restored republic slash United States Incorporated. And we know that it's a very silent civil war, and it's also a civil war to beat evil, okay? And the whole rest of the world, in all of the countries, are going through this also. This is what I talk about and I call Nasara Jasara, okay? National Economic Reformation, National Economic Securities and Reformation Act, and that is worldwide. So if you go over and you look at Executive Order 13849, that is worldwide, guys, okay? We are all pulling ourselves out of the incorporated, per se, the evil, the deep state, all together across the entire world. And that is the new laws that the world will be going by. We have all agreed on it because we've all agreed there will be peace. There will not be allowed any type of wars at all, as per this peace agreement. We will all the way around the world, see our military go down to about 4% of what it is now, because we will not have war. What will they be doing in the military? The things we always wanted for them: going to school because they want to support their families, but peacefully. They don't have the threat of going to war. They will be doing things like fixing roads, or, helping out local communities. Maybe they're ready to begin to rebuild all of their structures in their town. That kind of thing. Humanitarian things, not war things. The wars will go away. War to peace. So everything you see me do on the D.U.M.s, okay, and I show you all those round circles, is war to peace. We are getting ready to celebrate a jubilee around the world for a free, warless world. A world where humans and animals and the planet will thrive the way we know it's supposed to. Where everybody's vibrations will be high all the time. There will be no more depressions. There will be no more people with cancer. You will just live. You will be born and you will live. And whatever you decide to do, it won't be called work. And you definitely will not be a slave to a system. You will wake up in the morning and decide that you want to do something. You will want to contribute. Okay? It won't be a nation of going to work 40 hours a week for the tax-paying dollar man. You won't be forced. And that's what's going to change everybody in their thinking, and what they want to do, what they desire deep in their hearts to do. That, which most of you don't even feel or know yet about yourself, is what is so exciting with where we are headed. So we are going to Myanmar because they had some incredible things happen overnight. Some serious war to peace, some serious destruction of evil, which I think was a main vein, almost the heart of the deep state in that area. In fact, I'm going for it. I do believe today is a very special report. I do believe we just liberated Myanmar, okay, from their deep state, which was Burma, okay? And Burma is still to this day, since 1948, if you can believe it, is still in a war with its own self over the same exact issue. The same exact issue that we've been at war about with the deep state, and we never knew it. They just make it look like we're at peace. Okay? We too are under the gun of what's called the United States Incorporated. We are a corpse, okay? And we're trying to get ourselves out of that. And that is the restored republic. That is the Executive Order 13849. Now, out in Myanmar, if you Google Myanmar, okay, it will come up and still say Burma, because they too are a captured operation of what an incorporated is. Burma would be the incorporated by Biden, okay? And Myanmar would be the restored republic that's fighting to pull away from them. I just wanted to make that clear so you guys can get an understanding of the conflict, okay? Since 2021 out there, the anti-military, because same with us, that our military is a captured operation by the Biden administration incorporated. That is what we're fighting to get out of. The restored republic, Trump, the side of the military that is the anti-military per se, because we are a captured operation. The DEI, all of the bad stuff, the bad guys that have caused all the wars is what we're against. And we are mostly against being slaves to that system. And so is Myanmar, and they're saying no. But we know Google is a captured operation. So if you run around that, Google's going to tell you it's Burma still. They're being kind enough to put Myanmar in there every now and again. But for the most part, on Google, just like if you Google the United States, you're going to see that it's a restored republic, but it's not going to say that because what is it captured by? The deep state cabal incorporated. The same with Myanmar. It is captured by Burma, and they are fighting to pull away from their taxation system and their tyranny too. And this is going on all over the world, guys, in every nation. Some of them are already at peace. Everybody is in different stages. We could not have this happen all at once. Okay, so some are already liberated. There's no way it would have come out good in the end if everybody would have gone at once. We would have destroyed each other. It would have been bad. So each nation is pretty much going one at a time. And of course, who's last? Who's last, right? Okay, like that. So, now that I've established that they have the same unit going on inside of there as we have going on inside of our restored republic, now let's talk about where they're located real quick, so I can give you guys a feel for where it's geographically located. All right, so here's Miramar. You notice it's a captured operation. And let me also to say, you notice what happened when Trump first came in. All right, he planted his flag out in the Gulf of what was called Mexico. And what did we turn it into? The Gulf of America. We planted our flag and we said, oh, no, you don't. Okay. And that's what Miramar did. Myanmar, I'm sorry if I keep mispronouncing it, Myanmar, did several years ago, guys, okay? There's been a war in the inside going on too, just like us, to try and push their deep state out too. And unfortunately, their whole military was somewhat taken over. And believe it or not, so was ours too. We just didn't know it because, they kept us in the dark. We didn't know this was going on. So don't think this isn't going on right here, right around the corner from you. Okay. The military that we have that's going in and chasing these bad guys out. Okay. And catching them all. when I do the orange screen and I say, oh, the military's going in. All right, that is not the incorporated military. The incorporated military, let's just plant the name FEMA on, because that is the CIA part of the military. And then you have the Restored Republic, other half of them, which is us, okay, the 5D military, okay, and those two are what's at war. Okay, and the same thing with Myanmar, okay? Myanmar and Burma. Now take a look at this. Of course, you know, Google's still a captured operation, as you can see. And so, of course, they put Burma. So that's like around on my maps when I show you the orange screen. They still have it up there as the Gulf of America versus, I'm sorry, the Gulf of Mexico versus the Gulf of America. Okay, that's a problem. All right, they're not acknowledging it, and we're going to make them acknowledge it. Okay, so you'll see it all over if you look. There's still captured operation by this name. So, okay, so here's Myanmar. Let's come on out so you guys can see here for a minute. Let me get my thing up here. All right. And so here's India, you guys. If this helps you at all. Let me just get in a little closer here. And now look at what's bumped. Here's Myanmar, Burma. I'm not even going to say that anymore because they already took it over. Okay, guys? They're already done, and you're going to hear in a report in a minute. So you have, look at what's so close to it, Thailand. And we've talked about Thailand, how they were a captured operation a couple of years ago. All right. And they too were trying to be taken over. China comes into play on this. A lot of deep state and a lot of 5D military going on there. All right. Let's go ahead and get in closer so we can see. All right. So it stretches up. Bumps up against Bangladesh. These are the names you're going to want to be listening to for them. And here's Thailand right here, guys. Okay, well, okay, like that. All right. And it extends all the way down here. It's important to remember as we watch the D.U.M.B.s push a little more south. Myanmar has 54.13 million people in it as of the census of 2023, guys. Okay, and I'm really liking these numbers. Whoops, down here at the bottom. Okay, yeah, we like our 17s. Look at that. It just tells you that they're saved. This is why they taught it to us, so we would know for sure when we see things like this that it's not an accident. And it totally makes us feel better that we know, too, they have their 5D and 3D, that this war has already been fought and won, and the deep state knows it. So let's go ahead and just listen to a report quick so she can explain to you why it is they're winning, too, just like we are, and pushing over what's left of their deep state. This report's coming out of Al Jazeera News. Let's go ahead and hit play.
Myanmar's not in the news much right now, but there's a terrible war happening there. We just did a YouTube explainer on it, and we got a lot of comments from people in Myanmar saying they feel forgotten by the world. So what is going on there? Over the last 4 years, there's been this big rebellion against Myanmar's military rulers by all sorts of opposition groups who now appear to have the edge.
The military, if you like, is on the ropes.
Losing significant land, significant territories.
Quick backstory. Myanmar has essentially been under military rule since the 1960s. But from about 2011 onwards, there was this period people call Myanmar's experiment with democracy. There were elections, and Aung San Suu Kyi's party won twice. You might have heard of her. She'd been the face of the opposition for years. But in 2021, the military took back power in a coup. Aung San Suu Kyi was sent to prison, and there were huge protests.
Peaceful demonstrations were responded to with massive violence by the military.
That made people even more determined to kick the military out, once and for all. Some of those pro-democracy protesters formed armed resistance groups, ordinary people like students, lawyers, and medics who picked up weapons, and they've become a pretty effective fighting force. That's also because many of them got training from another category of fighters on the anti-military side. They're known as the ethnic armed organizations.
Okay, and we're going to stop right there for a minute. So this would be like here at the top. Get my little pen action going here. Okay, this would be like us, the restored republic, the side of the military that's fighting for good, okay? The side of the military that's trying to get out of the incorporated. We were enslaved in 1871, okay? They came along and hijacked us and began to slowly, over the next 100 years, get us to the year 1913 so they could begin the enslavement of money, which is taxation, all right? Like that. So we are the good guys. This would be like us. And then what she's going to explain, you'll hear here, is that it would be like the restored republic breaking off and having like one person say, well, this side's trying to still snake a little tax. We're still enslaved. And this side says, no, we need to go that way because it's just a little bit of tax and it's going to liberate the whole world. Maybe something like that. So the restored republic, which would be like so basically it would be like the good guys, the restored republic per se, which would be Myanmar. Okay, which would also be us, the restored republic. All right. It would be like them breaking off and going two separate ways of thinking like that. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to this here.
And these are groups that represent different ethnic minorities in Myanmar. They've been fighting against the military rulers for a pretty long time for better rights and autonomy in their regions.
Every minority in Burma has their own stories to tell you how much they are suffering. So that is the main driving force for these minorities.
And it's the ethnic armed groups that have made the biggest gains on the battlefield, especially in the last year. For example, one group has taken full control of Myanmar's border with Bangladesh. In this video, you can see soldiers in that area surrendering. And a lot of analysts say the military, which used to be all-powerful, is facing all sorts of problems, including getting enough people to fight on their side.
They have introduced conscription and are literally kidnapping young men to fight in the military.
With everything that's happened, the map of Myanmar now looks like this, basically a patchwork of control. The military only has that area in green, but it includes the capital, Naypyidaw, and other major cities. That's helping them hang on to power for now. But plenty of people are predicting that it's only a matter of time before the regime does actually fall.
This illegal coup attempt by the military has failed. One of the very reasons is because of the resilience of the Myanmar people.
Okay, and you heard in there that she's talking about the fact that they are winning, that their deep state, which would be Burma, understands that they're done, but they're going to cause as much chaos as they can with the fighting and attacking people, kind of like they're doing with the bad storms on us, the Deep State Inc. The FEMA side of it's doing with the bad storms and tearing up stuff and trying to steal land still. They are going to be the Wicked Witch on the Wizard of Oz that is melting at the end and trying to grab everything it can and destroy everything it can on the way out the door. It knows it's dead meat. It knows it's done, but it's going to be as destructive as hell on the way out the door, okay? Like that. Like a child throwing an absolute walleye fit. You might have a few bruises, by the time you are able to get the child settled down, okay? It's like that. They do act like children, guys. You will find that if you listen to some of the military and some of the final moments of these bad dogs that turn out to be little crying 4-year-old babies that didn't get their way as they're getting nooses tied around their neck. They're still screaming 4-year-old stuff. These people never matured. Their brains were altered. They were MK Ultra'd into doing what they were doing. These people could never become the people they wanted to be like that. So you have to feel sorry for a lot of them because they lost their lives to the deep states, MK altering, and its power and control through blackmail through videotapes, that kind of stuff. That's basically, you want to get right down to it, what Epstein did was what they were all doing. And believe me, Epstein is small potatoes compared to what we're getting ready to see above it that was doing it. I would bet my behind that Epstein too was a captured operation. He was an MK Ultra captured operation. And I would love to go into detail. You know me, I love going into detail on that kind of stuff, and maybe we'll get to it another time. All right, guys. So I just wanted to show you a couple of quick pictures of Myanmar. Here is one. Very beautiful Myanmar. Okay, look at how pretty. And look at their structures. If you're 5D'er, you know right away your eyes went up to these right here, didn't it? You went, ooh, they're taking in Tesla energy, right? Yep, that's exactly what the deep state was doing. These things were all active, guys. They were just taking it and converting it and then charging us for it. That's really what it boiled down to. These are all Tesla receivers per se, or givers, I should say, that's taking energy out of the ground, and basically it's all around you. So anybody who has something plugged in, you don't really need to have it plugged in. They just converted it. They took the energy, converted it so they could start charging us for it. Their whole system was all about charging us into the ground, the deep state cabal, charging us into the ground so they could capture us as a captured operation, own us, control us, and do whatever they wanted to us as they enjoyed the pleasures of our tax-paying dollars. That's why it is so important that no country claims tax-paying dollars. We are the reason why that country exists in the first place, is because we are the hierarchy. Okay, we are not to be taxed. The people underneath you are what's called public servants. So like your Congress and stuff like that, they are all public servants to what? To us, the people. Okay, the people are not supposed to be taxed. We have more than enough money. You know, we don't need any taxing. The first time you get off into taxing, you're owned and you're a slave operation. And eventually down the road, 100 years from now, we'll be dealing with that again. But I'm afraid the world wouldn't make it one more time through that. So that's why you see what's going on. You're a part of the greatness of the liberation of this planet in all of history, that so many came on this planet and figured out and knew they had to die and it would never change. Well, guess what? We're here to see it. We are the people sitting out in the chairs with our popcorn getting to witness it. That is why they say get your popcorn out as a good thing, because you are the people who, the disciples, you are the people who are going to write this into history. Okay. We are the watchers of this. Very exciting. So as you can see there, they're already there receiving energy, okay, or giving off energy. And notice how they made them beautiful. Okay, they're so beautiful. It brings your frequency up to look at them, and we light them up so beautiful. Look at our buildings. Look at how ugly and drab and yuck they are. They did that on purpose to us, guys. That was a form of MK altering. Okay, they don't want you looking at beauty and your frequency coming up. And you will be seeing these gorgeous structures being built all over the world again. Here they are again, guys. Okay, look at those beautiful structures. Look at the detail on them. Just absolutely stunning detail. Beautiful. Laid in gold, the way it should be for us to look at. I guess people just don't realize who they are yet, who humans are. You know, this world is ours, and it's supposed to be beautiful, and it's supposed to be nice, and we're going to make it that way. Make the world great again. And we're right in the middle of it. Beautiful Myanmar. Very, very ugly when it's called Burma. It wouldn't have been much longer, you guys, and if Burma would have gotten a hold of it, kind of like incorporated, would have continued. Thank God for Warp Speed, and Hillary would have gotten in. If Burma would have won out there against Myanmar, these buildings and structures would have all been torn down, and nasty buildings would have been put up, and eventually they would have been looking like us over there in the United States, with their brick buildings and stuff. Try and make everything look as ugly as you can, type of deal. And that's not going to be the case moving forward. All right, let's get right over to the D.U.M.B.s map. We have a lot to get into here. This is very exciting. All right, we're right here at, they're saying once again, captured operation. Old deep state Google calling it the United States. It should say the Restored Republic, just like it says Myanmar. Okay, it should say Myanmar and Restored Republic. Soon enough it will. We just took the Gulf, so we'll not bite off more than we could chew right now. No debate over the maps. The bottom line is it's the Restored Republic. It's already done. Okay, let's go ahead, and we are going to move this direction across the drink. The drink is the ocean. And we are going to head right on over to Myanmar. Okay, so there goes North Korea, guys. All right, and South Korea. Okay. Going on into China. Look at that, you guys. Just to the south of China. All right. And you can see it outlined. The Myanmar outline. Here we go. I'm outlining it. It will come down about like this. And I believe it comes, I think it includes this. All right, let's go ahead and close that. You guys look at those slammer jammers. I when I saw it this morning, all my dogs ran because I just went, yeah, get them. Now, what does this say? What do these slammer jammers say to Burma, to their incorporated, to their cabal? It says, you're done. That's what that says. Okay, just like in Ukraine, okay? Ukraine was also loaded with very large D.U.M.s. It was almost the mainframe of Incorporated and our military Incorporated that was on the side of the deep state and brainwash. It is their Ukraine per se, okay? This is the heart of the deep state and what they're protecting, and they will not let Myanmar have it. What did we just tell them? We took it. It's ours. Myanmar wins. Congratulations, Myanmar. It's over. I know you're going to still have some tough times, because here's the difference between Myanmar and us. Warp speed is what spared us from a civil war and so many deaths from the jab, okay, and kept us from going into civil war, because the same wars are happening right here in the Restored Republic / United States Incorporated. Okay, the same exact war is going on. All right. And so now that we have a little bit better understanding of what these D.U.M.s, okay, you could call these, like in religion, biblical. I would stamp biblical all over this till the day I die. This is a biblical moment down there in the D.U.M.s. I can't even imagine how much the boys are celebrating this morning. I want to know who got to do the hit on this one right here. Just out, and look, guys, it's right outside Mandalay. So that would be like Ukraine's capital for D.U.M.s, or like our capital, which would be LA, which would be Hollywood. Okay, it's identical to that. So it's Mandalay. It's just outside of Mandalay. Whoever got to hit this direct energy weapon to do this is going to go down in history, and I want to know his name. Because it only takes one beam to zap that stinker and pop her right off. All right, let's take a look at this D.U.M.b. So it's to the east and to the north of Mandalay. trying to get that to come back. Hang on, let me get down further. Here we go. Now I find this interesting. This one right here, they are not putting the... All right, guys, we're going to move to the north, okay, to our big D.U.M.s here. So here's the one we just looked at for spray. And we're going to go up here to these. All right, so you're going to see our twin D.U.M.s, the biggie. So, all right, this is our biggie. Our 7.7. Thank you, military, for letting us know and just giving us a little wink with those numbers. We like that. Okay, let's go on down and take a look at the spray. Look at all that, you guys. Look at that spray from that one D.U.M.b. Look at how far they felt it. Vietnam. Here's Vietnam, guys. Oh, look at this. It goes clear down to Singapore. Unbelievable. I'm just going to move about the cabin so you guys can see how far this spray went. Look at that. Oh, look at that. It even went down here into Brunei. Wow. West Kalimantan, you're reporting. Let's click on it and see. Weak shaking. They felt it all the way down there, guys. Unbelievable. Let's see if we can grab a couple of these. All right, this is coming out of Shaniaville, okay? Lamp is swinging, she meant, and moving the chair, giving a little panic attack here. Yeah, I bet. And look at how far away from that D.U.M.b. it was. Unbelievable. From here to here. Let's go down to Singapore and take a look. Oh, Singapore, how'd you do? Moderate shaking from it, okay? These guys, I'm pretty sure they were up and about, as I understand it. They were not sleeping when these struck. They struck them during the day, so I can just about imagine some cars were moving around. We'll get a report later on today. I'll work on that to get a report out of there of what everybody felt and stuff like that. And what's being reported, what might be destroyed. I'm sure there are some things that are destroyed. All right, let's just grab one or two more off of that D.U.M.b. Let's grab a orange. We'll go on in close to severe shaking being reported. Okay, light shaking. Let's grab this yellow, strong shaking. Let's go up here and just click in on some here. 4.7. So whoever that is knowledgeable. And he's saying it was a 4.7 that it blew up at. Let's go in and see where that's at. So Chiang Mai, just outside of Chiang Mai. Okay. All right. I'm having trouble with my map. Sorry for all the jerking, guys. All right. Let's come on back in here. Let's click on the South D.U.M.b. and see if we can get it to light up for our spray. The reports of shaking. Let's go ahead and click on that D.U.M.b. so we can get it to light up. I have to go in so close because look at it all. There's so many of them. There you go. There's the spray from that South D.U.M.b, which came in at oh, I might be clicked on the wrong one. Let's go back in. Yep, we are. See, there's so many circles. Usually I can just click and they're right there, but they're just stacked on top of each other. What an incredible war to peace. Incredible. Okay. I know I keep saying that. I'm just so thrilled. I'm so thrilled for the world and so happy. So that was a 6.4, guys. Okay. And of course, catch that. They're calling it Burma. Of course, okay. So let's look at the spray. So I see some spray to the north in Mandalay from that one. Do you catch those two? And one's red. Yeah, I'm sure. Take that, Wapui. Let's see what they have to say. Oops. There. Let's see if I can pull it apart. It says something about raising, picking up. So it might have, picked something up like a lot of people say they feel that. I would say that close. You would feel objects be picked up for sure. Violent shaking marked as a red. We don't get to see those too often, but we're starting to see more because we cleared up all the small ones, D.U.M.s, the veins off of the mains, and we're after those main tunnels around the world. So that lets you know that we're making progress, guys. All right, let's just pull back out here and look at the spray because it all went to the south from that D.U.M.B. All right, and now the spray has adjusted for that D.U.M.B. There we go. Let's see how far it went. Oh, I think I messed it up with the first D.U.M.B, guys. This is the spray from the first D.U.M.B. Anyways, let's go on in and just take a look at these in Bangkok again. All right, we'll do this conglomeration 9 hours ago. Weak shaking. My apologies. We are back to that North D.U.M.B because I just noticed something. Look at right on top of that North D.U.M B. There's a shaking report. The big one. The biggie. Oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming home. That's it. It's over. One. All right, guys, I wish I could pull this apart a little bit better. We already tried to pull this apart once, but I did not notice that was right on top of that D.U.M B. Unbelievable. All right, let's pull back out. All right, guys, let's pull back out for the spray on that one. So we pretty much see, look at that spray I'm still pulling out, and you could still see the sprays. Let's just take a look at this one. Look at this. They felt it clear over in India on the west coast. In Mumbai, they felt that D.U.M.B. Yeah, 9 hours ago. Wow. Unbelievable. I wish I could read that. Oh, I can. At the time, I was standing at the entrance of the restroom and was talking on the phone, taking a call, and suddenly not only did I feel an earthquake under my feet, but also my body was shaking and slightly knocking against the door. Wow, his whole body was knocking the door. Frame nearby. Oh, yeah, because you always try to get in a frame. If you're ever in an earthquake, guys, yes, get in a frame. On the inside of a frame of anything is the deal there. And it lasted, it says here, he says 2 to 3 minutes. Wow. Continuously. Oh, wow. You guys, everything I've ever done, and I know there's a lot of more of these good reports coming up, but generally speaking, this is one of the best ones I've gotten to do for you guys. Now, I have, believe it or not, a bonus we're going to run up to real quick. All right. You guys are going to be really surprised at what happened last night. Let's go on up. So we're going to leave Myanmar and we're going north. And we are going to that slammer jammer. This happened in Kazakhstan last night also. So were these D.U.M.s just like maybe the joints of the main 10 kms? Let's take a look at the time and see. So we're in, it was Kyrgyzstan it happened in, guys. Kyrgyzstan. Okay, let's go on in and take a look at what theirs were. You see that twin action again. Look at that. Let's click on it and have a look. See? 5 hours ago. Okay. And that was a 10 km and it was a heck of a blast, a 5.0. Congratulations, Kyrgyzstan. Very exciting. Let's take a peek at this one. 17 hours ago, 5.2. Wham. Oh, yeah. They're definitely related. So they did the ones down in Myanmar. 5 hours earlier. Okay, and then they did these two. So you can see structurally they have something to do with each other. Yes, that far away, guys. All right, let's see here. All right. And then you can see they did a few more just to the south of the two twin towers. It seems like I'm going to start calling it that, because it's almost like they're seeking revenge through these tunnels, because whenever they do twin, they always do two. They don't do three. They'll maybe do it the next day or something. It's almost like they're speaking twin towers. The revenge for the twin towers, they took us down. So when these 10 kms are big slammer jammers, they're getting their revenge, or we're getting our revenge. Okay, for our twin towers right here. You notice they're doing them in two at the same exact time, almost, and at the same exact depth. And that, to me, is speaking revenge for our twin towers they took down. Okay, let's pull back out here. All right, guys, I found a report for us. Let's go ahead and have a listen to this breaking news. It was coming out of Chicago, and they broke the news on it.
Breaking overnight, millions of people have been impacted by a devastating earthquake in Southeast Asia.
Myanmar and Thailand seem to be the hardest hit. Eric Rung is in the newsroom following the developments. Eric.
Well, good morning. It's early evening now in that part of the world. The powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit in the early afternoon. This could be particularly deadly due to the dense population in Bangkok.
The earthquake toppled a high-rise under construction. Close to 50 construction workers are reported missing. It caused many more high-rises to sway. Water from a rooftop pool was falling off one building. The force of the earthquake also caused a mosque and bridge to collapse. The earthquake sent many into the streets. The damage is pretty widespread. And to make matters worse, it was followed by a powerful aftershock that registered 6.6. Rescue teams are searching through the damage, looking for any survivors that may be trapped. In Myanmar, the royal palace was damaged and several homes were demolished. The death toll is expected to be high. Tourists and expats living in Thailand describe what it was like.
All of a sudden, the whole building just began to move. Immediately, there was screaming, there was a lot of panic. I just started walking calmly at first, but then the building started really moving, and yeah, a lot of screaming, a lot of panic, people running the wrong way down the escalators, like lots of banging and crashing inside the mall. I got outside and then looked up at the building, that one there, and this whole building was just moving, dust and debris. It was pretty intense.
The government in Bangkok declared an emergency. The Greater Bangkok area is home to more than 17 million people, many of whom live in high-rise apartments. We'll be following the developments all morning long. We're live in the newsroom. I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
And as I understand it, the death toll is at 150 people right now. And unfortunately, they're not necessarily casualties of war, but their lives did not go in vain. Unfortunately, the military does everything they can around the world to save as many lives as they can. But when you have D.U.M.s that are this big, okay, it has to be struck with a certain amount of force, okay? And I just know they came in on that D.U.M. the best that they could for the best outcome. Now, if you notice, they're saying kind of like out in Hollywood when all of it burnt down, and a lot of those homes turned out to be the deep state homes, big name homes, certain places that were picked, and they're saying the palace, okay, of the deep state, their deep state of Burma, okay, which is the bad guys, got destroyed, and several homes around it, because more than likely the homes around it had really bad people in it too. So maybe to a certain extent, maybe a certain percentage of them at the same exact time, they were able to make the vibrations or a few direct energy weapons engage and somewhat do destruction to those places. Maybe those are their 13 satanics per se. I'm I'm looking for the light in it all, for the loss of life. So thank you, and we honor you as soldiers that have given your life for us to be able to protect these little ones, which we all were once. And they did a lot of hell and destruction, the deep state cabal, Khazarian mafia did, in order to get a hold of these little precious babies of ours. They created a lot of hell and destruction on this planet as far as beginning to enslave us several hundred years ago. You see that Myanmar has been fighting the deep state since 48 when they tried to liberate themselves. And truthfully, you guys, we've been fighting ours since 1913 too. What we're doing right now, liberating ourselves personally throughout the whole world, is something that humans have been trying to do for a long time and have failed at. You know, when it comes to future proving past, are we really failing? No, we're succeeding, but it's going to look like it around you a little bit for a little while. We are above ground right now catching bad guys. We are per se putting our FEMA away like they are putting their Burma away, okay, and finishing them off. It's just we kind of lucked out. Warp speed helped us not to go into civil war. Now, am I saying there's not going to be pockets of civil war a little bit? Yeah, there's going to be. I mean, we're not going to escape this wholly. And you saw with BLM and all that happened back in 2020. Well, that would be going on right now, and they would have been, after 4 years of gaining themselves, imagine how big they would have been, because their ripe time to release BLM was right now, not 2020. It's like setting the fuse before it's connected to be able to explode, to get that spark. What the deep state did with warp speed is they took the spark away from them. We saw pockets of them back in 2020 and it looked really bad. Imagine what 4 years would have done for them. Plus the jabs, that would have had full amount of jabs loaded with bioweapons for everyone, not a certain percentage. They really did do a miraculous, beautiful symphony in order to make sure that humans did not lose their lives forever and we went extinct. And for these little babies right here, we do it for you. We do it for us, and we are not going to stop. We just need to finish this out. The world is being liberated right now. And I just showed you with Myanmar, and we looked at it with Ukraine, okay? And we're looking at it with the whole Israel situation, and Russia went through theirs, and Thailand went through theirs. We're all liberating at different times, and what a beautiful thing to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed this report, and to you in Myanmar, and to you in Kazakhstan, I think it was Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. Congratulations. We're just so happy for you guys. Please celebrate as you begin to clean up. And I hope everybody understands now that this is a good thing that's going on, that we are fighting the fight and we're finishing them off. We're not leaving little bits and pieces behind so they can fire back up again like embers off of a fire. Okay, we don't need those embers. We got to get them all like that. So with that, you guys have yourselves a fantastic day. I hope you walk around with your heads held high and a big fat smile on your faces. Wendy from NewsForce, over and out.